had got fed up with listening always the same thing. He was a man of action. He played every kind of extreme sports. He took part in every competition that clashed in the way, and he got involved in every cause he had the chance to. Lorenzo gained him at one of those causes. Froilan had to go to the village in a business trip. They had gone to lend a hand to the village's coast guard. They had an exercise of thinking and wanted to be sure it wasn't more than that. Once it ended, they had a dinner, and then each one took their way. Walking along the street, saw a poster that caught his attention. They are always doing meetings like that, one of his colleagues from the village told him. In favor of the city, you know. Froilan didn't know much about the city, only what had listened at home to his parents, or what he had read on the newspapers. Sometimes he had given in the temptation and crossed that rusty wire netting covered by the pine leaves. Luckily for a young irresponsible guy, his friends grabbed him on time. I go every other time to see if there is something new. His colleague kept on explaining. There isn't. That's why I thought, I don't know we can do something. Froilan began to get interested. Well, there is always something we can do. You never know. His colleague said, not too much enthusiastically. Froilan wrote down on his mind the meeting's day and place, and he appeared around without prejudice, not expecting too much, but wanted to listen what they had to say. The talk was organized by a human rights association, and the two speaking seemed to know in first hand the reality they were talking about. One of them was Lorenzo, the other was his mother. Lorenzo sounded more like a politician, not in the bad sense of the word. He seemed to be more used to impress an audience. His mother, however, seemed more sincere in her words. Froilan noticed she had lived what she was telling. He became completely fascinated by the passion they transmitted and, above all, with the chance of doing something to resolve a situation he had given up for lost. Hi, I'm Froilan. He introduced himself to Lorenzo at the end of the meeting. Hi, thanks for coming, Froilan. Lorenzo started. You have a familiar accent. Are you from here, from the village? No, I live at the town, but the other day I came around and I thought this thing was interesting. Froilan explained. Oh well, my father had a tavern close in the streets, the Torvalds. Come if you want and we'll talk more relaxed. Lorenzo offered. Yes, I can go. I work from the coast guard and we often go from a place to another, but I would like to help if I can, of course. Froilan said, thinking that he really couldn't do much, but wanting to do as much as possible. Lorenzo wide opened his eyes with joy. It wasn't the first coast guard he talked to. Village people were more willing to get involved, at least from the economic involvement point of view. Maybe it had to do with being the neighbor country, and there was that tendency to think they could solve our problems better than us. If you work with the town's coast guard, you are going to be very useful, Lorenzo admired. He integrated into the Torvalds easily. He didn't contribute money, but he saved them hundreds of thousands in transport. And with time, he got some kind of collaboration commitment from the corps. Not official, of course, but in fact. Actually, nobody approved what was happening at the city, but the situation was too much comfortable to resist. And in time too, he started to feel the disappointment. His just didn't give him the patience to understand that changes, even slow, were important in equal measure. The disappointment made him think he wasn't in the right side. have doubts about Toral people's intentions, see in their rules some dark interest. Not even Siena, the anchor that kept him into the good sense, got to persuade him. Don't worry so much about it. They have been fighting longer than us. They know better. She tried to give reasons. Yes, and that may be the reason why things hadn't changed. He argued. The moment was when the government fell. That was the moment. Torvald lived at the city, we didn't, Sienna said, losing her cool. I know, but it doesn't mean they are right. He began to keep his distance.